Arteta's in there. Great game. 50 seconds to go. Hurts. Deep shot. Hold in, Devontae.
Sure.
Before the press conferences even start. I mean, we could talk for 45 minutes just about how atrocious the defense is.
He's just picking the big guys. Jordan Mailata, he's huge. He'll be good later on. Josh Sweat, he's tall as hell and strong. Let's get him. We'll figure him out. It's working.
What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome to Trending in the AM, only on DSM Media. We're live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, kind of sort of live on Twitter. Again, more Twitter errors as always.
Yep.
Make sure you head over to Facebook or YouTube if you really want to get physically involved with the show. Hit those follows and subscribe buttons and all those kind of good things and share it out for us. We are live. This is episode 2 of Trending in the AM every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. I am Phil Stifle. This is Jeremy Horworth. We are Trending in the AM. We are sponsored by Manscaped. Make sure DSM is the code you use at checkout. Get you 20% off and free shipping. Again, like I said yesterday, holidays are coming. Make sure you head over there and get that special something from Manscaped. I'm sure they'll greatly appreciate it. Or check out our t-shirt site, over at TeePublic. Hold on. Try to show off. I got my Trending for 4 quarters shirt on this morning. It's linked on our LinkedIn site on Twitter. It's in the bio of the show on Facebook and on YouTube. Check out our TeePublic site. I think they have a 35% off sale going on right now on shirts as well.
Ooh,
so, good way to get a shirt.
Can't pass up.
The podcast that you love by buying the merch. It helps us out greatly.
Yep.
We got all different type of logos. I know you worked late last night. How you feeling getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning for a show after a late night at work?
Maybe 30 minutes ago I wasn't feeling great, but again, every time I try, right when I get back on this, I'm feeling totally fine, excited to get going, talking about all this. Hey, this is what we love to do, so I'm feeling fantastic right now. After a nice Sixers dub and some, I guess, decent Monday night football, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Awesome. So you said it. You said it. The Sixers beat the Blazers 113-103.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, we're like, yeah, the Sixers are going to win this game. But late in the afternoon, early evening, right before game time, Joel Embiid was ruled out. Yep. Then it came out a few minutes later that Tobias Harris went into the health and safety protocol. So we're going to be missing Tobias Harris for a few games. So you think Blazers are coming to town. I know off a back-to-back. But Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum, and that whole team, without Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, you're like, oh shit, man, I don't know. Maybe we're not going to win this game, but the Sixers came out. They took care of business. Their backups that filled in for Joel and Tobias did their job.
They did.
We had a pretty. I mean, it was only a 10-point game, but it was a fairly comfortable victory for the Sixers last night.
Yeah, once we got deep into the fourth, so the game was kept pretty close to the first 3.5 quarters, I would even say. But once we got deep into that fourth, we just started it was really Seth Curry in the last couple minutes, and he just got a couple buckets in a row, and it was like, okay, yeah, this game is getting more out of reach. You can tell the Sixers were just playing better basketball. Blazers were all worried. Blazers were getting more fouls. So the Sixers really just came out and, hey, they just had some sort of spark under them. I love it. Tyrese Maxey had a great day. Seth Curry, and again, also had a good day. Niang, who I'm pretty sure he filled in for Tobias last night.
Let's just talk about Niang real quick, because Niang was basically brought in to be an upgrade over Mr. Mike Scott. I know the Scott Hive team, gets a little upset that Mike Scott's not on the team anymore. But, man, I don't think Mike Scott could have put up 21 points and 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And just shoot lights out like he did last night. I mean, that's a veteran leadership. That's veteran skills right there. I mean, huge upgrade. I don't even think we had to say it was an upgrade, but we just need to remind everybody how much of an upgrade it was.
Yes. I loved it. Niang was an awesome addition. Also, Drummond came in. He did his job too. I know he had 14 points, 15 rebounds. He did his thing. Drummond, he filled in like he was supposed to, and everyone just got the job done.
I saw somewhere on Twitter, and I forgot to write it down this morning, that Drummond, his stat line, 14 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 steals, and a block. 1990, Hakeem Olajuwon was the last person to put up a. I'm not trying to say Andre Drummond's the dream, but that's how hard it is to put up a stat line like Andre Drummond did last night.
Yeah, fantastic. The guys that could fill in yesterday for our starters that were out did fantastic. Everything went really well. Again, it was against the Trailblazers, who have just not been playing good basketball so far this year, but this is definitely a great step. It's a good step in the right direction for this Sixers team. It shows that we can still do, we can still we can still make some damage without our stars being in. And again, this is still Ben Simmons being out.
The Gordy Jang one, that's great. And yeah, he's going to get a lot of playing time while Tobias Harris is in the protocols and stuff like that, which they haven't really released much, like whether it was because he's got it or he doesn't, or he came in close contact. Yeah. They haven't really given us much information on that yet. But so I'm not really concerned about him. He's just going to be a great veteran bench piece. But the Andre Drummond sign, I said as soon as it was made that was such an upgrade over Dwight Howard, because we know Joel Embiid misses games. He's got to rest from time to time, and then the banging knees and whatnot, his back, and the different things that always force him to miss games. Yeah. We shouldn't have to force Joel Embiid to play games. I mean, I thought a couple games ago was it when we played Detroit was an opportunity maybe to rest him. They talk about they have a schedule on when they're going to rest him and when they're not going to rest him, but you can really stick to that schedule and feel confident that you're not going to really, I know he's not going to put up 30 or 40 points like Joel does, right? But defensively and rebounding wise, Andre Drummond is such a great asset to have, at that backup center position compared to Dwight Howard, which Dwight Howard was a really solid backup. It's like, I made a joke a few weeks ago, the evolution of the backup center to Joel Embiid. It was Amir Johnson, then Al Horford, then Dwight Howard, to now Andre Drummond. If you just put the four of them in order, that is like going from step to step. It's like, they're finally getting it right, the backup position.
Well, that's something that was really important because you know that Joel Embiid is going to be missing some time every year. Again, like how they said, they're scheduling his rest days. They know when it's happening. They need to have a good guy that can come in and still step up, a nice veteran leadership type role, and they keep on getting better with it.
Maybe a Portland guy was sneaking into the gym. That's why he was working out a little extra hard there. I got to ask you. So I know you're a big baseball guy as well. So I'm bringing up this analogy. So last night, the Sixers fans were serenading Dame Lillard. And we're going to talk about Dame Lillard and the Portland in a second. But is the way they serenaded Dame Lillard before and at the beginning of the game a little too much? So I've got a comparison that's baseball related that I took a lot of flack for, back in the day for, talking about. I think that it was a little too much.
Yeah. So I think you're kind of giving it the wrong impression. I don't think you really need to do all that. And being a Sixers player, I feel like that would just be weird. Like, noticing that, I don't really think that would change Damian Lillard's mind at all. I don't think Damian Lillard's like, they're doing this. Oh yeah, now I want to go there. Like that's not going to happen. I think
it's embarrassing for the players on the Sixers.
That's exactly what I was getting at. I think it would just be more weird for the Sixers fans. I do think it was a little bit too much.
My comparison is back when Chase Utley left the Phillies and went to the Dodgers. And his first game back in Philly, Vince Velasquez gave up a home run to him, and they gave him a standing ovation. I was like, dude, the other team just hit a home run and is smoking us. And then Vince Velasquez later in the game struck him out, and they booed Velasquez.
Oh, so now that's
and really... I know Chase Utley, if you want to give him a standing ovation before his first at bat, sure, that's great.
By all means.
But then throughout the game and last night, you want to cheer Dame Lillard before the game, which they did. Sure, I'm Dame. I love Dame time. He's my favorite non-Sixer.
I know you do.
100% love him. I want him. I've been holding out. I'm like, hold on to Ben Simmons as long as you can so you can get Dame Lillard. That would be my dream scenario.
Yeah.
But once the game starts, I am not cheering the other team on. Not at all.
Not for any reason.
No, not at all. And so I think it's a little overboard what they did last night. And I mean, it's part of the course for Philly fans. We always, go to the extremes, but I don't know. I thought it was a little bit too much for me.
Man, Bryce Harper wasn't even on the Phillies yet, and during that home run derby, they were all like, I know it was in DC, but all Philly fans were like, "Oh, I love Bryce Harper, this, that." Like, like he's not even a free agent yet. Like, chill, calm down,
relax, pump the brakes a little bit.
A division rival you're cheering for, like, calm down a little bit.
You can't ever cheer for the other team once a game starts. You just can't. I personally, that's just the way I was.
I agree.
Taught and brought up. So we beat the Blazers, but the Blazers. So the whole thing is that Dame Lillard wants to stay and be loyal and build the Blazers up.
Yes,
but the Blazers are not playing very good basketball, and neither is Dame Lillard. I mean, he scored 20 last night, 7 of 20 shooting, 2 of 9 from deep. I mean, all season long, Dame's numbers and the Blazers' numbers as a whole have been really, really subpar.
Right.
Do you think if this continues on that maybe Damian Lillard changes his mind and says, yeah, that you guys are really – because if you look at their roster now compared to what it was last year, it's actually gone downhill. Instead of it getting better for Dame, it's getting worse.
I don't think Dame is going to be in a position unless the Trailblazers get really kind of like disrespectful, like almost like how Isaiah Thomas was traded back in Boston. Like Isaiah Thomas did not want to leave or anything like that. And I don't think there's any chance that Damian Lillard wants to leave. And he's even talking about it, like he's doing freestyles on radio shows, and he's bringing his lyrics are Rip City, like don't want to leave, like stuff like that. So I don't think there's any chance that he is going to want to leave unless Portland's like, hey, there's no way it's not going to happen. And then he might be like, okay, fine, then make it happen quicker.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any shot that he's going to come out and be like, go up the port to their organization and be like, hey, I want to go. I don't think there's any chance at all. He's all about that loyalty and everything like that. But that doesn't mean he's not going to get traded. There's guys that want to be loyal, and then the businesses are like, I don't care. I mean, look what just happened to Zach Ertz a few weeks ago. This happened. Again, it's always a business first. So as much as Damian Lillard might want to stay, Portland might just say, I don't really care. Like, thanks for what you did, but this is a business. DeMar DeRozan even. The same thing happened with him. He wanted to stay and he got traded. He's
having a hell of a season up there in Chicago to start early on. I know it's early. So my other end of the equation is if Dame doesn't ask out and still doesn't want to leave, I said it at the post, the wrap-up season show of Scotty Talks Basketball last year, said it in the offseason again. There's certain teams that just couldn't run it back, and Portland was one of them, running back CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard. Maybe it's Dame saying, maybe me and CJ aren't a good match together. And I know there's been a lot of talk about CJ coming for Ben Simmons, because if you go Dame for Ben Simmons, the Sixers have to throw in more assets, Tyrese Maxey, first round picks, whatever. But a CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons trade maybe makes more sense in this. We're not going to – we could keep Tyrese Maxey, maybe Matisse in that deal. Maybe they have to give us more, with CJ McCollum. And CJ McCollum is still a really strong two-guard. Can start and get his shot up. He's actually better than people give him credit for.
100%. He's a very underrated player in the league.
Very underrated player. So, maybe that's the scenario where we move Ben Simmons and get a Portland player, but it's just not the Portland player we want.
Exactly. I would be happy with that. I would be 100% shocked if we get Damian Lillard. I really do think we have to give up so much.
It's my pipe dream. That's all,
I'd be willing to do it. I'm willing to give up so much for Damian Lillard.
I would literally trade Maxey and Matisse Thybulle in that deal too. And I know that sounds heartbreaking, but done. If you get me Dame Lillard, done. I'll figure out my bench later.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Can you imagine Dame and Embiid on the floor at the same time? Oh my gosh, it'd be
all of a sudden Joel Embiid wouldn't have to be the guy trying to throw up fadeaway jumpers at 2 seconds left in a game. You would actually have a clutch shooter that wants the ball in that clutch moment. Oh man, it would be an amazing moment. It's just a pipe dream. The Bradley Beal and the Dame Lillard dreams, I actually had hoped that there was a chance. I've realized that there's not, but I still like to dream,
Yeah.
So, but CJ McCollum would be a good consolation prize if Ben Simmons is not going to play.
I agree. Again, it'll be a really good starter. Has a really good shot. McCollum has a really good shot. So I would completely agree with you there. Giving away Simmons, and I do think there's a shot that maybe they would give up a little bit more, or if we had to give up a little bit more, I don't think it had to be much. You're not adding Maxey, you're not adding Thybulle, and I mean you might do like in a couple years a first round pick, something like that. That is not that valuable at this time that we can make up for it. So that's all that I could really see giving up for McCollum. And if there's any way we can do it, I'd love to pull the trigger sooner than later, because CJ McCollum has been playing the best basketball in Portland so far this year. No, it's early.
I will just say they got to pull the trigger sooner than later on a trade, period.
Yes.
Just because of the simple fact that it takes time to develop chemistry. And I know, I got into it with Scotty earlier that, the NBA is a little different than it used to be. Regular season doesn't really mean. So if you fall from the third seed to the fourth seed or the fifth seed to the sixth seed, if that's how you're learning and growing as a team, not to worry about it as much. But I still want to see chemistry built now versus later, just because it's important in my opinion. You really have never seen a team win a title with, a team like a major star trade mid-season.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. So you need to get those guys in as soon as possible.
Exactly, and it's a lot different in basketball than it is in other sports. Like Von Miller going to the Rams. Again, we'll get more into that trade later when we get into football. But that is going to help them in a different way. But in
totally
basketball,
different than basketball.
Exactly. When it's basketball, you need to build so much more chemistry. It means so much more. So much more.
So the Sixers won last night. Their next game is Wednesday night. It's against the Bulls at home here. Going to be a really tough test because the Bulls are playing really great basketball as well. But the next stretch of games in general, we got the Bulls at home. Then we go play Detroit, which that should be an easy win. And then we play the Bulls again. Then we get another shot at the Knicks and then the Bucks. So the next 5 games, you got 4 really good teams that we're playing. So it's going to be really – it's a good thing we rested Joel now. I can actually see him not playing Thursday as well because of it being a second half of a back-to-back. It's a road game. Detroit, we shouldn't need him again. Drummond should be able to start that game.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see the Joel's schedule. But again, not having Tobias Harris for a few of those games might play a factor in that as well.
100%, and that's going to be the real test for these guys that are filling in. You're going now. You had your easy game last night, but after that, you're going to have some real competition. See how Niang can do against these really high-powered teams, and hopefully we can just keep on filling in, keep on doing their job. Tyrese Maxey, I swear. So what I did last night is I watched the highlights of it was every point scored. I just watched all of that real quick. And I just kept on seeing Tyrese Maxey just drive into that basket. Tyrese Maxey is really good.
People forget he's only 20 years old, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, he cannot legally go to a bar and get a drink, okay? And he's being put as the starting point guard of a championship contending team. So that's kind of concerning because you kind of want that veteran, leading point guard right now.
Yeah.
But, if he's given time, if he doesn't have any fear in taking a shot at any point. He takes his shots, 3-point shots, whatever. If he just works on his shot a little bit more, he's got the drive, he's got the dish, he's got the floater. His floater is
fantastic.
Excellent. I mean, at 20 years old, can you imagine if he progresses at his current rate? By the time he's 23, he might be one of the top point guards in the NBA.
Yeah, seriously. So I'm definitely liking Tyrese Maxey so much more. Much more.
That's awesome. And it would suck to give him up, but for Dame Lillard, I would.
That's different. Yep, 100%. I agree.
Totally different. Yeah, totally different. We don't need him if we got Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about the Sixers before we wrap that up and move on to the next topic?
No, I think that's really it. Some important games going on, so hopefully they can keep it up. But I think that's pretty much it.
Again, trending in the AM right here on DSM Media. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe, follow, and like button for us. Make sure you turn the notifications on. We are live every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. And we are brought to you by Manscaped. 20% off with promo code DSM. Holidays are coming. So we're going to move into the NFL. We're going to talk Monday night. We're going to recap Monday Night Football because, Jeremy, you said it was going to be a close game. I think you said it was going to be a 3-point game last night.
I did.
Didn't you? Yeah, I think you did. I said it was going to be a blowout. You said it was going to be a close game. You were right on that. So, the Giants lost to the Chiefs 20-17. Did not see the Giants keeping the Chiefs' high-powered offense, in check like they did. But we have to ask, are the Chiefs really a high-powered offense? I mean, if you look at the trend, we talk about the trend of Tyrese Maxey going up. The Chiefs' trend and Patrick Mahomes' trend isn't very good right now, is it?
No, not at all. I don't really know exactly what's going on. I mean, Mahomes again playing a lot of hero ball, but I don't really know what's going on. I would like to put a lot on Patrick Mahomes. They don't have a good offensive line, so again, he's running for his life a lot, but he's just making a lot of dumb decisions. That's really the nicest way to put it. Making a lot of dumb decisions. His completion percentage last night was terrible again. So he's really just struggling a lot right now. I know he's really high up in interceptions this year. I know he's towards the top of the league.
I think he might actually be number 1 right now. I think last night I think was his 10th interception. So I think that puts him at number 1.
That is totally insane from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm sure he'll turn around. We know how good of a quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been before this year. But it's something to definitely be worried about. If I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be extremely worried about this team. And I think this has to say more about the Chiefs than it does the Giants. I don't think I'm like, oh my gosh, the Giants lost to the Chiefs by 3. Like, no. The Giants barely lost to a team.
So I think Mahomes has got 2 things. One, I think he's hurt. I think his ankle is bothering him, or something's bothering him in his lower legs or lower extremities. Because if you watch him run, he doesn't seem to move smoothly like he used to. It almost looks like he's like tiptoeing when he runs, or he's not running smoothly. So I think that could be a part of it. I'm not sure. He's not missing practice. He's playing every game. He just doesn't look fluid like he used to when he scrambles and moves around. Even when he goes to run on a broken play, he doesn't. He used to run confidently. Now he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think you said he plays hero ball. He's been playing hero ball his whole career. It's just nobody was able to stop it before. Now they're like, this guy's gonna. If we put a little pressure on him here or there, he's gonna do it. Everybody face the ball. You get ready because there are opportunities to pick this guy off. Maybe the league's just figuring out how to stop Patrick Mahomes.
If that's more of what it is, I totally could see that would make a lot of sense. It's just that they got rid of both of his tackles this year. And they were good tackles. So both of them are gone. So I just feel like he's trying to do even more. And I know that he's been the biggest part of this offense, that he's been the reason why this Chiefs team has won a Super Bowl and gone to the Super Bowl. But he at least was able to take some stress off, like, hey, I'll have a little bit of time. And now, just like you said, they're getting more pressure on him, especially with this bad offensive line. He's just trying. He's trying, like, I know he's on like the no look passes and these left-handed throws. Even a
little sidearm one he had to Travis or to Tyreek Hill last night.
Yeah,
he kind of like just sidearmed it underneath and look,
like he was a baseball player.
Yeah, exactly. That's not normal, and I think he's gotten away with that for too much.
Yes, he has.
And now it's kind of catching up where you're only going to have those lucky plays work so many times. It's just this year they're all not working. I mean, you look at it last night. The longest completed pass last night was like 24 yards.
Yeah.
That's not like that either. I mean, I know Tyreek Hill had 12 catches, 18 targets. He was averaging 7.8 yards per catch.
That's not Tyreek.
That's terrible for their standards.
Yeah. 100%. 100. If that was like a possession receiver, that would look fantastic. They're just targeting him. That was like a Zach Ertz time stat line from a couple years ago. Yeah. But Tyreek Hill, if he had 12 catches, I would have expected 200 yards.
Absolutely. At least 12
at
catches.
Least. Yeah.
He should have at least 200 yards on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would be a Tyreek Hill stat line, and he would have killed fantasy. Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He's done it like he's done many
fantasy?
times before.
Hold on. You want to talk fantasy?
Ooh.
Hold on. Real quick. Let me pull this up here. This was me and Dylan. Dylan did not think he was going to lose this week in the DSM redraft league because on my bench, I have 4 guys on IR. Christian McCaffrey, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Logan Thomas, and Michael Gallup. Plus my quarterback, Lamar Jackson, was on bye. The best kicker in fantasy, Justin Tucker, was on bye. But hold on, I'm just going to zoom up to the top here and just remind everybody that I am Team Book of Dilligaff. I am now 7-1 with 4 guys on IR, and I smoked Team Davis, Dylan Davis's team. He is now 5-3. I mean, he's got Tom Brady. He's got Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. No. Dylan went down I knew Dylan was going to go down. Just wanted to throw that out there. I've been waiting to say that there all morning. So yeah, we'll take that off. Sorry.
Oh Dylan. Man, that is
going to go down next week. 7-1. The last time I had a team like this and I trash talk, I lost in the playoffs. But it's fun while it lasts. And if anybody can figure out what my team name, Book of Dilligaff, means, thumbs up to you. Most people don't know what that means. So
I don't.
You don't. I'll tell you off the air. I can't say the words on the air.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. And
maybe after the 10 p.m. like when you can go to PG-13 or whatever, I could say it. I just say the first 2 letters, Dilligaff, D-I, do I look, and then you fill in the rest of the words. Anyway, We'll go off the air. But back to that game. It's just not the same. Fantasy, was a tough game, and a game like last night, Giants versus Chiefs. It should have been a fantasy like home run type game, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it definitely should have been. And we all know how the Chiefs defense is, and I mean, I guess they looked okay against this Giants team. Daniel Jones still had a pretty good day, but again, they have Devontae Booker at running back. Saquon's still out. Mm-hmm. They have 3 or 4 wide receivers injured right now. I know Galladay's not playing. Mm-hmm. Kadarius Toney, that rookie that was drafted, he's fantastic. He's also injured. So just a lot of guys are out, and the Chiefs still managed to only beat them by 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
and you have Danny Dimes in there, who doesn't throw
Daniel
dimes.
Jones. I mean, I don't buy Daniel Jones as a quarterback. One of the major announcers put out a tweet last night that Daniel Jones needs a game like this to shine, to prove that he's an elite quarterback in the NFL. I'm like, what the hell is this guy tweeting about? There's no world where Danny Jones and elite should ever be in the same phrase.
God, no.
But let's be honest. Also, he hasn't had Saquon Barkley for 1.5 years now.
Yeah.
They're wide receivers. I mean, Tony's a nice young guy. I know he had one really big game a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest. He shouldn't have been drafted in the first round. Their offensive line is shambles.
Yep.
They got Jason Garrett calling plays. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. So maybe Daniel Jones isn't as bad as it seems, but he's definitely not an elite quarterback. And he's not somebody, as long as he's the quarterback of the Giants, as an Eagles fan, I will never fear the Giants in the division.
I agree. I'm right with you right there. It's crazy to say that the Eagles with Jalen Hurts still have the second best quarterback in the division. I can't believe that I can actually say that right now.
Yeah, that's
Daniel Jones is terrible, and Taylor Heineke really. And I know he's exciting to watch, but he's really
he's not good. Yeah,
he's
not a building block for the future whatsoever.
No.
To wrap up last night's game, I mean, so I don't know if you saw the bettor had bet a ticket. I think he bet $1,000 that what's his name, Zach White, the Jets' backup quarterback,
Mike White
would be the leading passer of the week. Okay, and he threw for 405 yards. But going into last night's game, before the game, he tried selling. So I think it was a $1,000 bet to pay out $125,000, and he was trying to sell his ticket because you got the Patrick Mahomes led Chiefs going up against the Giants. He was not confident that his ticket would hold up and win. So he was trying to sell. I don't know if he sold it or not. He was trying to get $50,000 from somebody and let somebody else, have the sweat there,
Right.
And so that just goes to show that, on any given Sunday, anything can happen. But that just also goes to show that Patrick Mahomes is not right now.
Yeah, 100%.
And how bad does it make you feel that he smoked the Eagles a couple weeks ago?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I forgot that game even happened.
Yeah, that was not good.
No, not at all. We also have Jonathan Gannon at a defensive coordinator, so that's my excuse until he's gone.
Yeah. Exactly. Who would have thought we would have been waiting for or pining for, Jim Schwartz to come back,
Hey, I actually, that's something you'll learn about me. I've always been a Schwartz guy.
Okay. Well, I learned something new then because I've been an anti-Schwartz guy for a long time. I had Craig James on once, like a year ago as an interview. Wow. And I tried so hard. I kept throwing these little nuggets to get him to bash Jim Schwartz. And he kept looking in the camera and just smiling like, no. I was trying. I was throwing out all these little tidbits trying to get him, and I couldn't get him to bite on it whatsoever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You have Craig James on there.
Yeah, it was a cool interview. So obviously there's some other news in the NFL. Today's the trade deadline, 4:00 this afternoon. Before we get into that, obviously a bunch of different news in the NFL. Jameis Winston out for the year, torn ACL. Derrick Henry out for the year with his foot injury, and Von Miller getting traded from the Broncos to the Rams. All three are pretty big stories. And three different things that are happening there. The Saints say they're not going to change. They're just going to go with their backup. When Taysom Hill's back, he'll be the starting quarterback. The Titans, they signed Adrian Peterson, who hasn't played this year. And then the Rams taking Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey and adding Von Miller. I mean, that's three different directions that a team is going in right there.
That Von Miller news, the first stat line I heard was they just added Von Miller, who since he entered the league in 2010, I believe it was, he has led the league in sacks since 2010. Aaron Donald, since he joined the league in 2014, has led the league in sacks. These two guys are going to be destroying offensive lines. It's going to be terrible. And you have, and I guess it's a little bit of an argument, but Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in the league. At least in my eyes, he is the best corner in the league. You have some of the best defensive guys along with that very high-powered offense.
They've gone all in.
They've gone all in.
I have to say, if they don't win a Super Bowl now, or at least make the Super Bowl, it's a complete disappointment and failure.
Yeah, no, 100%. And they've gotten rid of a lot of draft picks over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do after this. They're going for a Super Bowl now. They're trying to make their fans happy. And after that, it might be a little bit of, a struggle
let's
to
be
build
honest.
up
I
more.
mean, they haven't had draft picks since they drafted Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Because they got rid of all their draft picks to move up to get Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So, and they've consistently, that was what, 2016? So now they've pretty much not had a draft for 5 years, and it hasn't hurt them. So they're in that mentality, and I'm kind of like that with baseball. And I guess I should kind of transition my baseball thought process to football too. Prospects are just that. They're prospects. They don't work out more often than they work out. So draft picks are the same way. I mean, if you can get 2 or 3 good late round draft picks, whatever, it's good enough. I mean, they've been picking only 2 or 3 guys a year, in the draft. So and they're still sustaining and surviving. So I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make out, especially if they win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. And that's what makes it 100% worth it. Since the Eagles won a Super Bowl in 2017, I'm still so content. I'm like, you know what? We did all that, made them signings and everything. I want more, but I've just been content. Like, hey, we got it. I'm not going to say take a few years off. I thought we could have been, I don't know. I feel like after everyone wins the Super Bowl, they're like, oh man, we could do it again next year.
Dude, I still have so much pride when I put my Super Bowl champion t-shirt on. When I wear it to work, I just put it on and I always stop and look. And it was how many years ago? I just look at it, I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, I got one. You've only, what are you, 19, 20 years old? You've only had you only had, one Super Bowl in that, but I'm 40, almost 41. I've only had one Super Bowl, so a little different, I've had a lot more pain and suffering than you.
Indeed.
So that's that. Derrick Henry going down with the Titans. Personally, I think that's probably one of the biggest losses of any team. I think Derrick Henry means more to his team. And I know he struggled this week. His yards per carry were a little low. But I think he means more to his team than any running back in the NFL.
So much. He's the leading rusher in the NFL, and he probably still will be at the end of next week. This guy was so good. I think this is going to destroy the Lions, or the Titans. Don't know why I said Lions. I think this is going to destroy the Titans. I think the Colts actually have a chance at coming back now in this division just because of this injury.
Absolutely agree.
Peterson is not going to be anything like he used to be. Even if he does, did he sign yet, or is he just working out with them?
Peterson signed to the practice squad, but they already said that no matter what happens, he's going to be elevated for the game. So he will be dressing on Sunday for the Titans. Yeah, whether he'll get a lot of carries or not, that's still to be determined and all. But
so even if he does get a lot of carries, or if he doesn't, I don't think he's going to be anything close to what Derrick Henry has done for this Titans team. But you know what this is going to be a really big test on? Ryan Tannehill.
Absolutely.
This is going to, a lot of people have been saying Tannehill is a lot better than we think. If you look at his stats, he does this and that. Well, that's because he's always had a running game. Right. And when you have a good running game, the passing game opens up so much more. You're not going to have a running game anymore. So if Tannehill if he's really that guy that can come out and be a really good quarterback, then he can prove that.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about it. He still has these top receivers, still has AJ Brown, Julio Jones, but you won't have that running game anymore.
No, I mean, everybody, some people were getting so overhyped that Adrian Peterson was back and going there. And I called out. I know a lot of people called him out. I called out CBS Sports. They put out a post like Adrian Peterson still got it, and it's like, what? Seriously? How does he still have it? Because he the video that they showed and shared was from 3 years ago against the Eagles.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on now. You can't share a video from 3 years ago to say he still got it.
No.
So Simmons, sorry, I got Murphy checking in on YouTube. What's up, buddy? Simmons for fat Zion. And Zion does look like he's had a few too many burgers in the offseason for sure. John Morant was definitely the in my opinion, should have been number one, not Zion Williamson in that draft. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I've said that before. No, I don't want Zion. Zion with Joel Embiid would be a terrible pairing. All right. So running backs, we'll get back to the Titans running back situation in a second because we're going to talk trade deadline, but the Jameis Winston Saints, going down. The Saints just beat the Buccaneers. They're right there in their division. They're definitely a playoff team with Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Are they doing the right thing by not trying to go out and grab a quarterback?
I see. I don't know if
Over Simeon and Taysom Hill, is that really going to win you a playoff spot?
see now. I don't know how much. I mean, trade deadline's almost done. So I don't really know what guys are really available. I mean, what you're gonna go out? You're not gonna get really a starting caliber. You're gonna go for another bad kind of guy like a Gardner Minshew or something like that. I think they're
really Joe Flacco still.
Yeah, well, I
we
think
might have gotten one better round pick if we still had Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, possibly, but I think Minshew would be someone on the table. But I think now the Eagles kind of value Minshew, for the next couple of weeks. So, but again, that would be someone that I would have thought of before maybe Minshew getting a starting role over in Philly.
Right.
But I think they're going to stick it out. I mean, you just had a backup. Trevor Siemian beat Tom Brady. He played better than Tom Brady. He beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm going to have that. Man, that comment.
Yeah. Hey, that was the overreaction. Murphy, you should have been here yesterday. Overreaction Monday, which, by the way, I got to sidetrack again for a second.
No, it's fine.
Overreaction Monday, hashtag Overreaction Monday there's a reason it's called overreaction.
Yes.
People took, when I said trade Javon Hargrave yesterday, man, people are like, forget to read the first line, Overreaction Monday. Yeah. Nobody read that part. They just saw trade Javon Hargrave, and I got blasted. Overreaction Monday is for overreacting. Yes. Today is not over. Eagles winning out is an overreaction Monday statement, not a let's be realistic on Tuesday kind of statement. All right, so all these teams that need trades, over under 1.5 trades today from Howie Roseman.
Oh, from Howie? I'm going under.
Just from Howie. We'll get to the league in general, but over and under 1.5 trades today.
Under.
You don't think he makes many trades?
I don't think so at all. I'd actually be shocked if we even get one more out. I don't know what the talks are of other people. I would love if we do. I'm down with making a lot of trades.
Yeah.
I don't want to say sell, but these guys on expiring contracts aren't coming back. Get something out of them.
Right.
At anything. I don't care if you get some 6-round picks. I don't give it. Right. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I would like it, but I don't think that there's going to be trades that
I think Howie's on the phone with the Titans right now. Look what Boston Scott and look what Jordan Howard did. Would you like one? Take your pick and make me an offer. I would make that move in a heartbeat. They did add Brian Hill to their practice squad once they elevated Jordan Howard. So you've got that third depth running back piece that could, play that role of, Jordan Howard now, until Miles Sanders comes back. So I would be fielding phone calls on Jordan Howard and Boston Scott right now. And I'd be calling Kansas City. Yo, do you want Andre Dillard? Do you want, Brandon Brooks? He's going to be back soon. They need help. So
I'd love it. Something that was actually brought to my attention that I want to bring up to you, because you did bring up Miles Sanders. We were talking about trading
for a year.
Yeah. So if Miles Sanders was healthy right now, do you see him getting traded to the Titans?
I mean, I don't see them trading Miles Sanders, but I would do it for the right price.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because again, I still think, I didn't originally think. Now I'm realizing that I was wrong. I said we were retooling and going to have a quick turnaround here. But Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have made me realize this is going to be a long turnaround here.
Yes.
By the time we are contending again, for a real run at a Super Bowl, Miles Sanders can be shot. Running backs have a short shelf life.
Yep.
His value is maximized. He's still on his rookie deal right now. You could get something decent. You could get a 2nd-round pick for him or a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
I agree. Or a 3rd-round pick in a player, a young player from another team. Yeah. So I'm all in for moving running backs. Running backs for me, if you look at all the Super Bowl winners lately, how many of them have had a stud running back? Has Derrick Henry won a Super Bowl?
Nope.
Has Christian McCaffrey won a Super Bowl? Dalvin Cook won a Super Bowl?
Nope.
Saquon Barkley won a Super Bowl? All these guys that go in the top 5 in fantasy drafts?
Yep.
Have they won a Super Bowl? No.
They're very expendable.
They're very expendable in my opinion. So if you've got one and a team wants it, I say move it.
I also would agree with you, and I think right now I think I think there would have been a very good shot that Miles could have been on the Titans this morning or later on today. Yeah. I would not have been shocked, but now that he's injured,
still could hypothetically. I don't know when their bye week is. He's only out for 3 weeks. They said, and they said he should be back. So he's already missed 1 week. He's got 2 more weeks that he's going to be sitting out. So he could hypothetically be back in 3 weeks, but I doubt they make that move now. Because when he's hurt, his value drops a little bit there.
Yeah, 100%. I think our bye week is week 14.
Ours is week 14, but I'm saying the
Titans bye week
was coming up soon and all. Yeah. But I don't know. for some reason, sometimes I think the NFL trade deadline is a little bit more exciting than it is. This year, I just don't see much happening this year.
I agree.
In general, like the NBA trade deadline is always a blast. The Major League Baseball trade deadline, always a blast.
Yeah.
Football, it's hit or miss. And I think a couple times in the last few years, it's been exciting, but I just don't see, I like I said, I could barely 2 trades, I think. I think you could see 2 moves from Howie, but they're going to be minor moves. They're going to be Andre Dillard, or they're going to be,
Eric
Jordan
Wilson
Howard for a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
But it's going to be 1 or 2 moves max, from Howie Roseman today.
I agree. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So what else do we got going on this week here, Jeremy?
What? I don't really know what else is going on this week. What is going on?
I love that you're just not awake yet.
I was trying to think. We got. I know we got
Zach
6 years old.
We got Zach Noble tonight on Scotty Talks. It was supposed to be last night. Got pushed off to tonight.
Oh, okay, right.
Tomorrow night we got. I'm bringing some fans on trending in the trending for 4 quarters. Let the fans give their piece.
There you go.
So we got Sixers, we got Flyers. Oh, and tomorrow morning we got Chris Romanelli. He's on the season ticket advisory board of the Eagles. So we're gonna get it from somebody that a season ticket holder that's there every single week, but also that sits in on these meetings with the Eagles brass. And he also went to the Super Bowl as the Eagles, representative back in 2017. So it's gonna be really fun to talk Eagles with him and get his feelings and his what the pulse is that he's got since he's always talking with them. So excited for that tomorrow morning.
Definitely.
Jeremy wants to go back to bed this morning.
No, I don't know what's going on, man. I lost my train of thought.
No, it's all good. You just need more coffee in the morning.
Yeah, I'm going to start needing to do that. I know Thursday we will have Diamond Talk going over the World Series. So also
is Game 6 tonight?
Game 6 tonight. And if it goes to Game 7, that's tomorrow night. We got 2
so Game 6 tonight. Who wins? Well, do you know who the pitchers are? I don't even know who the pitchers are tonight.
Oh, I don't know. I have not checked on it yet tonight. I know that I don't even know if it's going to be a great game or not, depending on who's there. But I don't know. Something's telling me that we're going to a Game 7.
Game 7 in any sport. So they got Max Fried versus Luis Garcia tonight listed as the probable starters.
That's nice.
So maybe we do get a Game 7. That would be pretty exciting. I will watch Game 7 if it gets to that, because Game 7 in basketball, baseball, and hockey is
nuts.
It's nuts. And in baseball, and every pitcher's available. You see starters coming out in the 7th, 8th inning for an inning. I love games. There's no tomorrow. I love it. I've been to Game 7 in hockey before. That's intense. That is super intense.
Wow.
That'll be really exciting. So we'll recap tomorrow morning. Yep, Adam checking in. Yep, sorry, I beat you to it by a second, Adam. Reed and Garcia. Yeah, I got you. You normally get me before get those answers first, but I got them first this time. Yeah, everybody, trending in the AM right here on DSM Media, brought to you by Manscaped. Promo code DSM. It's 20% off and free shipping. Make sure you check it out and check out our t-shirt site. We got some great designs. All our show logos up on there. We'll get the trending in the AM up there.
Definitely.
Make sure you check that out as well. And make sure you're following us on all social media. Jeremy at JHorworth11, me at Beard and Knowledge, at DSM_media, YouTube, Facebook, subscribe, follow, share. And the key thing to do, those little bell buttons, the notification buttons, turn them on all platforms. That way 15 shows over 7 days a week. When we're live. There's 8-9 of us putting out these shows. Make sure you have those notifications turned on, because you don't want to miss a single thing.
You don't. 7 days a week we have a show. Yeah. I love that. We've grown so much that we
just started in July technically. That's great.
It's great. It's fantastic. And we're just gonna keep on going. DSM to the moon.
Yeah, DSM to the moon. I hate the DSM to the moon thing. I hate because of the doggy to the moon. I hated that because I fell for the doggy thing. So just to the moon thing, it just reminds me of how I missed the boat on Dogcoin. That's all. I missed that boat. I did not make millions like everybody else.
Right.
So the to the moon thing just reminds me of how I missed out there big time. So
yeah, I'm
on the Shima to the moon now, because I'm trying to get in on that one early. Not that I know a single thing about that stuff at all.
Right. I don't even.
Anyway. All right. So this is Trending in the AM. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. with Chris Romanelli, season ticket holder of the Eagles, and on their advisory board. Everybody have a great day. Go Astros. So we have a Game 7 tomorrow to talk about. And everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Go Birds.
Go